fact that like he was gonna do the wave and then actually reached out and did like the salute.
Reached out and touched base.
Man, I don't know. Marilyn Manson, huh? Welcome back to Uninformed Movie Reviews, Uninformed Movie Lovers. Today we got a special treat, a nice monster of a treat.
Ooh.
Godzilla vs. Kong, y'all.
Yeah. You caught me by surprise. I don't know how. We're recording a podcast.
I know, right? It's like scheduled.
But you came in with that monster energy, and I'm excited for it.
Oh, we should have had Monster Energy. It's not a sponsor.
I had a monster at 6 o'clock. I'm ready to go,
Dang,
y'all.
you're still raging.
Ready to go. Let's see if I sleep tonight.
You got the power of the monster in you?
Yeah, I got the power of the monster.
Can you do the...
That's the power of the Gator.
Just
That's
do it anyway.
different. I didn't have any Gatorade today. It's a little bit different from the normal fare. We don't have like some fun list or like weird quests that we're going on today.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about Godzilla versus Kong, y'all, because I mean, something as momentous as this occasion needs its own little standalone, you know?
Fair enough.
And if you know, you know. Which also brings us to the point. Where should we start off? Initial impressions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
That way we know the tone.
I had so much fun watching this movie last night.
I couldn't agree more. This is everything I wanted and more. And it's definitely the best entry in the Monsterverse so far.
I
me.
was a little upset, but although I knew it was going to happen, that David's prediction was correct.
What? That Godzilla would win?
Well, no, I mean, I predicted the movie after watching the trailer.
The Mecha Godzilla thing?
Well, not even that, just like beat for beat what the plot was going to be. Like, okay, they're going to fight a couple times.
Yeah.
They're each going to get a win. I don't want to get into spoilers just yet. Let's
I think it'd be nice to save the spoilers for a minute.
Well, I already spoiled something, but if you don't know by now.
Oh, I guess that's true. I really enjoyed the movie. I had a blast watching it. I thought, especially all the
You had
fight
an atomic
scenes.
blast?
Yeah, I did. I was charging up. I was going Super Saiyan over here.
Screonk!
That probably won't be the last Screonk today.
I have a few problems with the movie, but it's like a genre. You expect those problems, I guess. So it's nothing too crazy. I mean, I wish it could have been a little bit tighter in some places.
Yeah.
And if anything, maybe the movie needed to be a little bit longer.
Oh, you really think so? I loved that it was kind of like a tight package.
I just felt like there was so much getting thrown in this one, so much new information.
There's a lot.
Stuff that when you're developing a series and it's like the fourth movie in the series, there shouldn't be just like a bunch of new elements that have never been mentioned before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of Rise of Skywalker-y stuff going on here.
I can see it. Yeah. I mean, they're trying to branch. They're definitely trying to branch. They're laying the seeds in which they'll sow later.
Mm-hmm.
But
allegedly.
Oh yeah, this money train ain't stopping.
That's the one thing I am excited about.
it was a
seems
test.
like
This was a
gonna keep
test
going.
movie, though, for sure.
And hopefully I have no idea what this HBO thing does for the numbers, like people watching it at home. But I suspect that one of us might have an idea.
Did somebody say numbers? Numbers? Godzilla vs. King Kong, currently rocking a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes with its 113-minute runtime. Made on a budget of $200 million. So we've thrown a lot of money into this bad boy. Hope they made some back. Opening weekend in mainland China grossed $69,200,000.
Nice.
So far, as of right now, it's 10:43 good old mountain time.
It's not even the weekend.
0401, no fooling. It's made $9,600,000 domestic with a worldwide gross so far of $132 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think they're going to make a nice little chunk of change on this one.
I really think they are.
We're 2 days in.
It's the title alone on this movie and what obviously the subject matter is that like brings almost anyone. It's two film giants, not even just like monster giants like a comic book thing or anything like this. This is literally, they're two seminal pieces of film that are coming together to converge.
With like a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
That's true. And it's very much like almost like a Batman v Superman thing. Like ignore the one that actually came out, but for a long time it was like,
oh, you mean the extended cut or the regular? I don't know which one.
Know. They're going to restore it and give it like a 6-hour cut. There's going to be like another cut of that movie. But before that movie ever came out, there was, always speculation, when are Batman and Superman going to meet on film? It's like just one of those exciting moments. that people are waiting for. You know what I mean? Maybe not Frank.
Boy,
but,
what a letdown.
but Godzilla versus Kong, it's another one of those. Like, yes, we've had their original battle back in the 60s.
Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, a King Kong versus Godzilla.
And children have been arguing about the outcome since then.
Ever since. Yeah. So it's cool that we finally got this.
Because there was no clear winner.
Yes.
However,
there's a bit of controversy there. This is a bit of a tangent, but in the original one, and someone, correct me if I'm wrong, but
they will, David.
The original King Kong versus Godzilla, I'm talking about the 60s Toho film. There were two versions of the ending.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch the Japanese one, Godzilla wins, and if you watch the American version, King Kong wins. And it basically came down to like two different companies deciding, okay, let's go ahead and lump our properties together, and then realizing, well, I don't want your monster to win. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
So they were like, all right, well, it doesn't really matter. We just have to have like our audience be happy, and no one will ever know because there's no internet. So that's how things worked in the 60s. But
how little they knew.
yeah, in this one, well, I guess we should get into the plot, right? Is it time to?
Yeah, might as well. Excited to talk about another Adam Wingard project on the podcast. Not his first mention.
You're next.
Shout out to You're Next.
Yeah. And also Death Note the movie.
Wow. No, please don't shut that one out. What a weird set of like a filmography.
Dude, that guy's filmography is all over the place.
Well, what a redemption film. Let's just say this is his redemption, because I think the latest one was the Death Note Netflix movie.
Yeah, Death Note, it looks like he did Blair Witch right before that. Which
that was okay.
I haven't seen. I've heard that it's okay.
It's Raven's favorite. So
it's funny.
That's so Raven.
Because Blair Witch is just one of those movies that is so polarizing. Like, people hate the original Blair Witch Project.
That's weird.
Or they love it. You know what I mean? It's like a weird combination.
That's going to fall into love for me.
I feel like you have to respect that movie.
You have to, especially if you're watching it for the first time today, you also need to remember that there were no other found footage movies.
It was the originator.
Yeah. No one obviously you probably knew it was fake, but the potential to believe that it was real was bigger than
and that's
now.
what was scary back then, because there was hardly internet back then.
Yeah.
And if anything, it was like word of mouth, like, hey, this is real. They you know what I mean? Like, there's a lore behind it.
And Blair Witch is one of the first movies to utilize like an online ad campaign.
Exactly.
They were one of the pioneers of that idea, which is pretty cool. He also did the first episode of Outcast. That show that I couldn't stay awake for.
Yeah, that one put you right to sleep.
I don't know what it was, man. Yeah, I guess it was just boring.
It's just a super boring show.
And I've read all the comic book. I think there's one more issue.
Great.
It's a lot of fun. They're finally wrapping up Outcast. I think it's going to be like 48 issues or something like that.
Nice. When they finish it, I'll jump back in.
Yeah, just go and read through the whole thing. It's a
just forget the omnibus.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, movie though.
Should we go I'll go in kind of like a sequence of events?
Yeah, let's start at the top.
So it picks up 3 years after King of the Monsters, which was from 2018, I believe.
2017, maybe. Well,
that's a number.
I think it was 2018
in front of me.
Either way, so King Kong has been held in containment on Skull Island from Monarch.
2019. Yeah.
Oh wow, so really recent actually. So this, King Kong's been held in a containment facility on Skull Island, which actually simulates like Skull Island. And that kind of serves as a basis to explain why he wasn't there during the King of the Monsters.
Yeah, they're treatment showing him.
Yeah.
They're making him think he's in the jungle.
Which was good. I like that intro.
That was cool. And it was also to hide him from Godzilla, too. They didn't want Godzilla knowing there was another alpha apex predator out there.
He tends to not like that. And then, so... Exactly. So moving on past that, they realize that... Oh.
Sorry, just one quick thing. This really bugged me in this movie. The movie opens up with this title. It's just a little blank title card. And it's like, somewhere on Skull Island. And then it immediately shows you Skull Island. To the point where it's like, did I need to know that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would have figured it out.
Yeah.
That's where Kong lives.
Yeah, exactly. Just open the movie on the island shot and it'll be like, oh, I'm on Skull Island.
Yeah.
And then they even break out of it, and then they're saying in the dialogue, "We're on Skull Island. We're in this hidden." I'm like, okay, thank you.
Wait, so Where are we right now?
I think one cool contextual little thing that was shown in like the frame rather than explicitly is like they show you that it's Skull Island without being Skull Island, like the replicated Skull Island.
No, it is Skull Island.
It is Skull Island.
Yeah.
But like on the outside, it's like very stormy and stuff, which Skull Island typically isn't. I know it's covered. I just watched Kong Skull Island, but like they said Kong Skull Island or Skull Island is perpetually covered by like a storm surge.
Yeah.
But now that I think since Ghidorah like messed up like the entire climate when it had like that climate control. I don't know if you guys remember that in King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
It like could control the entire climate. I think it's
It was hiding around in like a hurricane.
yeah, and I don't know if it's changed things. So that was kind of cool.
That was probably just us.
Probably. That's just my thoughts on it. So they're saying, hey, Kong's gonna get too big for this place. He doesn't like it here. Like we gotta figure out another solution. Which then cuts to a couple characters. You get to see Millie Bobby Brown again,
and then what's his name, Coach
Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler's back.
Kyle Chandler, for like 2 scenes.
You know, Kyle
why is he
Chandler,
even in here?
he got wiped out of this movie. What's
Yeah.
funny, these movies have a really hard time of like connecting the cast.
I completely
You know what I mean?
forgot that Bryan Cranston's in the first Godzilla.
Or like Aaron Taylor Johnson. You know what I mean? Like
Or
what
Elizabeth
happened to him?
Olsen, like, yeah.
Which is even funnier because they like play brother and sister in Age of
Oh,
Ultron, and then they're
yeah.
a married couple in that movie.
and it was like right around the same
It was
time.
right around the
too.
same time. That must have been
Weird.
a weird setup.
Yeah, and yeah, they tried so hard in like 2014 to like make us invested in the characters,
Yes.
in which we gave no crap about.
And in this movie, it feels like they're like, we know what you're here for, man. Like,
And
we're not
they
gonna- we're
became
not gonna
self-aware.
wait
That's
too
one of my
much.
big pluses of this movie is they became self-aware. Like, just bring it back.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to talk about human. You don't have to have human drama. 2014 is Godzilla is kind of like just drenched in human drama.
The beginning of this movie, the first 22 minutes, I timed it. The first 22 minutes of the movie is just exposition and setting up the premise that there's a new evil corporation, not the corporation that we heard about in the last movie.
Before, no. Apex.
Apex. Yeah, we have which, and this is part of what I was talking about earlier. Like, who are these guys? Where did they come from?
Yeah.
Well, that guy was originally mayor of Tijuana, but he was also the head of a drug cartel. So I guess after all that fell through, like he opened this company.
When we were watching that movie, I was just like, Nancy. That's what I was just going to say over and over again. We're talking about weeds, if you
right?
guys-
Yeah.
We're getting in the weeds with this reference.
Well, Sarazawa's son is in Apex, which
That's
is
right.
one of the scientists that said, let them fight.
Yeah.
I am glad that they still had a Japanese character, so somebody would keep saying Gojira. And I don't know if you noticed, but as soon as that guy dies, the guy who plays Esteban, the guy we're talking about, starts saying
He says Gojira.
The whole time he's like Godzilla, but as soon as the Japanese guy dies, he's like, well, somebody has to say Gojira, so I'll say
That's
Gojira now.
hilarious. You know what? I think, and maybe I'm wrong, in King of Monsters, what's this actor's name again? The Asian actor who's in all the Christopher Nolan movies?
Ken
The guy from The Last Samurai, the only
Fujiwara?
Tom Cruise
Is
movie that I enjoy.
Fujiwara, I think his name is. Let me see.
Oh, come on, Frank. You love The Outsiders.
Oh, darn.
I love The Outsiders. I try to
hate
ignore
Tom
Tom
Cruise
Cruise
in that
throughout
movie.
the whole. Dude, when he's like, when they're walking down the street and he's all hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Not Ken Fujiwara. I'll find him.
Okay, well, when that actor in the previous movie, I don't think he says Gojira. He says
Ken Watanabe.
Ken
Ken
Watanabe.
Watanabe.
Thank you. He
Guy's
says
great.
Godzilla. Like, he puts it really fast to the
No, he
point
says
where
Gojira.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we're
I'm
gonna
pretty
play-
sure you're saying Gojira.
We'll place a bet on this.
He says Gojira.
I think he says Godzilla. Like he says it like he's trying to say it with a J.
Maybe they told him to
I'm
do
pretty
that.
sure it is Godzilla because I'm a subtitles guy.
Okay, well, let's be honest.
as well.
We're gonna find out for sure, and no matter what, we'll edit this. All right. And if I'm wrong, I'll edit this whole conversation out, and if I'm right,
where
I'm
I'm
just
right.
gonna hit it over and over again.
The benefits of having Final Cut.
Yeah, so moving on past that.
Oh well, sorry, but the premise, real quick. So they're trying to get a power source, and there's this whole thing. This is a big part of the movie that's really cool. Is the Middle Earth, or what do they call it?
Middle
This,
the Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth. There we go. And there's a scientist who's a really nerdy character. His name's Nathan Lind,
Yes.
played by Alexander Skarsgård. And,
whose IMDb profile photo is fantastic. I won't spoil it for you. Just go to IMDb right now.
Yeah.
Look
And
up
this-
Alexander Skarsgård. Be
I
delighted.
believe this is his second film with gorillas.
What's the other one?
He played Tarzan.
Tarzan.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. He's like a scientist who's written a book on Hollow Earth. He's obsessed with it. It's like his life's work. So this company gets him involved. Although it seems pretty obvious to begin with, that they have their own motivations.
Obviously. Yeah.
They just need his.
They
help
did the
getting
bad guys show up in your house.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did. They pulled a pie. You know what I mean? The
yeah.
same thing happens in pie. Like, oh, you have this algorithm. We need we need this information. Okay. But that's our premise.
And Apex
With a little bit of the core like slipped in there. A little bit of core
Yeah.
vibes.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely got that core vibe.
Yeah,
in
we've
there.
created this vehicle that can withstand the pressures of
And that was real quick. And then they were just, well, all right, we'll get without getting too far ahead. So yeah, you're like you said, they're looking for a power source of like infinite clean energy that's proposed to be in the Hollow Earth, which they don't know is actually real at this point.
Yeah.
They're proposing it's real.
But they think it's real too because this is where they're theorizing all the Titans came from.
Yeah.
They all came from the Hollow Earth, so there's some, it's got to be some kind of power
And then
source.
Skarsgård's brother died years later, like in an expedition,
trying to get to it.
He got
to it.
smushed.
Got
Yeah,
smushed.
when going through the hole to Hollow Earth, the gravity at one point flips.
Yeah.
And it like crushed him.
Yeah.
And when they finally get to the Hollow Earth and everything, all of the like disorienting camera work with the flipping gravity stuff, I love all of
Oh, it was
that. It
great.
was so cool.
That 2001 shot out.
One of the things
Yeah.
I thought about was weird about that expedition was this guy who heads the Apex coordination or corporation sends his daughter on
Yeah.
this extremely like dangerous mission. Like he obviously didn't care about her welfare at all.
And that little girl too. It's like, okay,
yeah,
I
you guys
get-
are taking this little deaf
like
girl.
I get that she
Who are they going to leave her with
communicates-
though?
Oh, I guess that's true. I get that she communicates with Kong and probably wouldn't have worked out if she didn't go with him. But yikes, man! Like, really, you guys are gonna put this little girl
Yeah,
in this
big
situation?
risks.
That is
Well, I
insane.
guess, and especially because she's the last of her tribe. Like they just split that into the dialogue somewhere that the Iwis that were in Kong Skull Island just got wiped out for some reason, or they just disappeared. So she's like the last, from what I remember.
Also, one funny observation about this mission: everybody's wearing these like super cool jumpsuits. You know what I mean? The little girl doesn't have a jumpsuit. Like, there's no reason for them to be wearing them other than like, well, we have a mission in this cool like space shuttle, so we need jumpsuits.
They're like, remember how sweet those matching uniforms in Avengers Endgame look? Like, we need to get that look going for this movie. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. We're not quite at character limit extent. But I kept thinking of that line. We just reviewed Thank You for Smoking. And there's a part in the movie where they're trying to get cigarettes in the movie. And they're like, well, you can't smoke cigarettes in an all oxygen environment. It's going to explode. And he's like, well, we'll just write a line of dialogue. Thank God we invented the whatever device. And it's like, there's a lot of that going on in this movie.
Oh yeah.
I think is totally excusable. I can look past all of that in this particular genre of movie
I mean, definitely.
because it's just about monsters smashing each other.
I mean, you're not here for the logic. If you were
Yeah.
here for the logic, you would like ask why a giant 300-foot being would be able to mobilize or have a
oh
skeleton.
yeah. in the environment that we were in.
Exactly.
If Andre the Giant couldn't pull it off, and he's only a fraction of the size, like how much chance does this monkey actually stand?
So, and a lot of the reason why Apex is developing and getting more traction is because they're actually Godzilla has been attacking cities again. It's the first
Yes.
sighting of Titans in 3 years.
And coincidentally, he's attacking Apex facilities. Bum bum bum.
in the cities that they're at. Bum,
Yes.
bum, bum. So, there's some context clues laid in there.
Yes, this is also a classic Godzilla film move.
Definitely.
This is a Godzilla trope to make Godzilla the bad guy again. Godzilla's always flipping.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he's a savior of humanity. Sometimes he's just having a good old time wrecking stuff.
Well, it's like they say it at the end of King of All Monsters, or King of the Monsters, excuse me, when he's like going off, they're like, oh, thank God he's on our side. And somebody's like, for now.
Yeah, for reals. Yeah. Well, he wrecks that base. This is really like a big part of the Millie Bobby Brown story, Little 11.
God, I love saying that name.
Little Millie Bobby.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown. She has been listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Like obsessively.
She's like a QAnon supporter.
Essentially. I mean, it's like 2 steps away from it, really.
Yeah. Like if you replaced that guy, that actor who's the podcast host with Alex Jones, it might be a better movie.
Easily.
You know what I mean?
InfoWars
Just him
would've been
being
on
like,
that. I'd hate to reference such a terrible movie, but that guy reminded me of Woody Harrelson's character in, is it Knowing or 2012? It's hard to tell with both of those movies because they both suck.
I think it's 2012.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2012.
Yeah, both those movies. Oh, is that a movie pairing? I don't know.
It came out right around the same time. I think that's almost a doppelganger.
Doppelganger is what I meant. Sorry. I don't know if I
can
wanted
do
to watch
that.
those.
Yeah. Yikes.
Anyway, Millie Bobby Brown's listening to this podcast, and this guy who's working secretly for Apex is trying to uncover what they're really up to. And his podcast is actually very accurate. Like, he has all the information.
I'm surprised that Apex doesn't do much security clearance on who works for them and stuff.
Yeah, you would think that like they would start having to be like, okay, well, this guy obviously knows stuff on the inside. We need to figure out, blah, blah, blah. Like,
who's this guy?
What about finding his IP address or something? Or,
what about his voice that's not disguised or anything?
Yeah. Like someone would just be like, oh, I recognize him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's ranting at work about GMOs.
Well, I mean, if these kids were able to track him down.
Seriously.
Yeah.
With very little effort.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown found him out in a second. Like, oh, I just need to find a place
where
that
he
sells a lot of bleach because he bathes in bleach.
Which seems bad.
I was like, I don't think that's
good.
I'm pretty sure on the bottle, it's like, hey, if you come into contact with your skin, you need to wash this off right now.
I think that's not something that's viable.
No.
You cannot bathe with bleach.
Also incredibly expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be doing like a bleach sponge bath or something to be saving all that bleach.
It's just crazy. So they find him. Obviously, they do the whole thing where it's like, oh, we follow your podcast. And then they try and infiltrate the ruins of the Apex facility.
Yes. Because when the facility got destroyed, our podcast host saw that there was some sort of experimental engine. What?
A strange-looking eye object.
What could this be? Or yeah, it was an eye. It wasn't an engine. It was the eye. Some weird box. And then when they went back, it's not there. Oh, no. What could happen? And then they go,
That box has been dead for 13 years.
No, we're getting a little out of order because that's the thing about this movie. It's really 2 stories. It's like the Millie Bobby Brown story, which is not as much as the movie. It's her, that goofy kid. What is he in?
Oh, he's in
Deadpool.
for the Wilder People,
He's
too.
in Deadpool.
Yeah,
that's right.
Who
He's
I'm
good
pretty
actor.
sure is a Kiwi and not an Aussie.
He is a
Yes,
Kiwi.
he is
Nice.
a Kiwi. And then the podcast host. And then we have the group that's with Kong.
And Kong. I feel like, obviously, this movie centers around Kong.
Yes, this is a more Kong movie than Godzilla. Which is funny. This one should be called Kong versus Godzilla, I think.
Wonder if there was a rights issue or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you know what else? I've noticed the Godzilla movies are really good about not renaming a movie.
Yeah.
Except for these last few ones.
King of the Monsters.
And every time
Electric Boogaloo.
just Godzilla comes out, there's been a couple of
Back in the habit.
Back in the habit. Yeah, I mean, he is back in the habit in this one. But they're trying to get Kong off of Skull Island because the entrance to Hollow Earth is in Antarctica.
They think that a Titan... Oh, they propose... Apex and Sarazawa's son propose that the Titans have some kind of genetic memory that brings them back to their place of spawning or something like that. So they would be able to show one of the ways and entryways into the Hollow Earth.
Should we agree from now on, just for efficiency's sake, to refer to him as Son Ozawa?
Son of Zawa. Yeah.
Son Ozawa?
Son Ozawa.
Son of Zawa-san?
Yeah.
Son Ozawa-san. But on the way there, we have one of many Evangelion references. Yeah.
That should have been...
Where they're on a boat. They're on a boat taking Kong over to Antarctica, and then Godzilla shows up.
Dude, what a great scene.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That aircraft carrier scene is beautiful.
It is.
And it's funny because it is one of the few Titan fights that they've had in all of these movies that's in bright daylight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just listening to some guy who was talking about that on YouTube. The same thing about them always being at night or in the rain.
It's always in the rain, yeah.
But that one gives you a real clear look at what's happening.
The graphics are incredible in this movie, man.
They really are.
The lighting on that scene especially is really beautiful. I love that they almost bring back the Ligeti soundtrack when Godzilla is actually close to the aircraft scene. Once they shoot off the missiles is when his kind of like theme song from the 2014 starts again. But man, it was really cool. I love that scene.
And you really start to feel for Kong, like in this one. You're like, oh my god, I hope he pulls through.
He's gonna drown.
They really get tugging on your heartstrings for this giant ape.
Yeah, it's not the same Kong story as always, but it evokes the same emotion where it's just like, can't you just leave Kong alone?
Yeah. He doesn't want to do any of this.
Yeah.
He wasn't even supposed to be at work today.
Yeah. Oh man.
So Godzilla shows up and he lays the smackdown on Kong. Kong kind of narrowly survives. They have to pretend that Godzilla wins to like make him go away.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, that's such an awesome scene when like Kong is like still like locked up and the whole boat flips over and then you get to see like
Kong struggling to get back on the boat like a tourist on a canoe. It's like, damn, this thing keeps flipping, man.
And then that thick boy G-Zilla just like comes up on the... Oh, so good.
You would think that Godzilla would just be like, I could probably drown this guy, huh?
He was trying.
He tried.
Oh, he
yeah,
did. He
gave
did
it a
try.
shot.
That's
They
right.
started
Going
with
down
those
to a
depth
trench.
charges.
Because they did get him with the depth charges, which I feel like could have also really messed up Kong, but it worked
Easily.
out. It worked out.
I'm surprised Kong didn't get the bends.
The bends.
Yeah, so that happens and they realize, hey, so we can't finish this trip because our aircraft carriers are decimated. So they're like, okay, how's Kong with heights? And so I guess they decide to go to the Antarctic base.
Yeah, and they string him
Oh,
up.
they put him on a helicopter.
They put him on some helicopters.
Man, they're lucky they didn't kill Kong, man. He was all soaking wet and then they threw him in the snow.
Yeah.
But like, so the helicopter thing could have been an option the entire time?
That's what I was wondering too. Like,
No, I
wouldn't
think
be
that
more
was
efficient?
like a better last ditch effort because it wouldn't be more efficient fuel wise. Like all the fuel, all the jet fuel
expensive.
you'd have to use to like get those helicopters going.
Yeah, helicopters have to
true.
refuel like every 2 hours or something
Yeah,
like
man.
that, right?
And
I don't know. I'm not a pilot, but sure.
Sure, that sounds good.
you know what's funny? In the 60s,
Wrong sound effect.
in the 60s, King Kong versus Godzilla, they also drop in King Kong by airlift. Except it's not helicopters; it's like a bunch of balloons.
Wow.
They've like suspended him with balloons.
Dirigibles.
It's so
silly.
goofy, man.
It's so silly, man.
So, let's see. In the meantime, they get to the portal for Hollow Earth, right?
Yeah.
Which is in Antarctica. Gia was the little girl, I think her name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She tells Kong... Oh, well, they find out that Kong can actually understand words and is actually pretending being stupid so that the humans don't try and get him to do things.
So if Kong knows a sign language, do you think he knows Coco? And if so, does he know Robin Williams?
Wow.
He might.
In this universe, maybe.
Apes together. Strong.
If there's one thing Wall Street Bets has taught me.
I bet they're losing it over this movie.
That's what I was thinking the entire movie. I was just apes together. Strong.
Yeah, so they communicate with Kong. This makes a lot of sense to me. It's like, yeah, Kong should be able to communicate through sign language.
Kong's pretty smart.
We've seen apes do it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got to be a smart creature here.
Kong loves opening the jaws of things to breaking point.
Oh yeah, one of his favorite moves.
Oh yeah, dude, it's the best.
But it's funny too because it's like, oh, he can communicate. We're gonna ignore what he's saying.
Exactly. He's obviously stupid.
Oh, you can communicate with him? Can we get you to manipulate him real fast?
That was like
Immediately.
right away too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, tell him his family might be down there. We don't know for sure, but we need to get him moving.
God, these guys are gonna offer me a fat check if it's real.
I'm wondering if they are going to actually bring more Kongs. Are they going to go Son of Kong?
They might could. There's a lot of Hollow Earth.
There's
you
a
know?
lot of
there is.
possibility in there, which I guess we should get into Hollow Earth right now. I have some problems. Obviously, we're talking about logic and having to float logic. We are here in a movie against two giant fake
Let me
beings.
just remind you as we get into this that there's people out there who think that the Earth is hollow.
I was gonna say this is a legit theory
Yeah.
in a lot of things.
Well, not legit.
Well, not a legit
Okay,
theory.
but it
This is a
exists.
theory.
Like
Yeah.
people think this exists.
It's out there in the zeitgeist.
And so, I mean, one of the things for me is like, okay, the design for Hollow Earth was real cool. Obviously, it looks really good. I mean, again, the graphics look amazing. It looks realistic. But you get in there, and there's this whole ecosystem, which I get, but somehow the sun is in there.
Maybe it's coming off of the core. Maybe we read the core wrong. It's not actually the core, but it's another star at the center of the Earth.
I was confused by this too. Is the Hollow Earth directly in the middle?
It looked like it.
Or because they showed the core, but then they showed this like spirally thing next to it.
They showed like all these veins coming out as like possible tunnels into the Hollow Earth, but the Hollow Earth looked like it circulated.
The Hollow
core.
Earth is at the middle of the Earth, like quite literally.
That's what it looks like.
If you know how Hollow Earth works, shoot us an email and let us know.
Well, because I had a big problem with this too, and I'm getting a little bit ahead, but a bit later in the movie, Godzilla is going to blast his way into the Hollow Earth.
Which is dope.
Which
like
is
a
cool.
kid trying to dig to China, but from Tokyo.
From Hong Kong.
Yeah, from China.
Oh, it's from China.
Yeah, or well, Hong Kong. But how does he break through all of that layer?
He blasted it, man.
I know, but they made it seem like...
So anyways, I started blasting.
They made it seem like it was like a mile deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the scale issue really
like
became
Kong,
big.
like they were able to like look at each other like, bro, we're gonna fight.
Yeah, that was the best part.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems in there. But, I mean, it's definitely in a fantastical place, but it's really cool. Like, definitely cool.
It's got that Inception thing going on where there's mirrored...
Like
the top is another
it's on top of each other.
floor.
Yeah, and there's like a space where zero gravity exists, kind of like there was like an asteroid belt between the two.
Yeah,
which I thought was
which
kinda
I'm
cool.
glad they showed that because instantly I was like, "Can you get to the other side? And if so, how?" And then I was like, "Oh, cool, that's how."
That's how Monkey do.
Yeah. As soon as I saw those two, like they look like the mountains in Whoville where the where the Grinch lives. I was like, "That's got to be it."
Oh, they definitely recreated that one famous like Renaissance painting. You know what I mean, with God and Adam and stuff.
Yeah.
Where they're doing the touch,
the finger.
Yeah. How about that Warbat scene where like those creature scenes, like right when they get into Hollow Earth and these giant things come up and attack Kong, he takes both of them on at the same time.
So the Warbats have no legs.
They don't.
Do you think they slither really fast and then take off, or they do like a snake kind of spring thing and boing up into the air?
They look like cobras.
Because I have questions about how that works.
I don't know how they fly.
How are they hanging from the ceiling? If they don't
Those are different bats.
Oh, you're talking about the
those are tiny little bat
you're talking about the
things.
slithery
Yeah, we're talking about the
guys.
slithery boys with the big red wings.
Yeah.
which is
Kong
a pretty
uses
cool
one of
takedown.
them as like a weapon to hit the other one. It's fantastic.
I love how he rips the head off of one of them and start. You think he's gonna like eat the neck? No, he like eats the head.
Yeah.
Pretty dope. Pretty dope.
That is good stuff. I really like all the creature designs in there because then we get the other bats in the cave.
Yeah, those look crazy.
And then we get the like Avengers like Mjolnir thing where like he
I don't
gets
know what you're talking about.
He gets the you saw this movie where he no not that one. What's the one he gets?
Mjolnir.
No, it's the one he gets in Infinity War. It's not Mjolnir. This is
Oh, I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one that Peter Dinklage like makes for him, right?
Yeah. We have that scene where he's got to get the weapon. And then, okay.
Here we go.
Here's where I had a major problem in the movie. They get there, they collect the energy source, and then they just wirelessly transfer that data back to Apex.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we got the information. We can recreate the power source now. And I'm like, what power source works that way? Like,
all of them.
I guess.
Right? That Hollow Earth one.
How are you even sending that data through the Earth?
With satellites, David, duh.
There's no satellites.
How are you creating a Mecha Godzilla based off of the psycho...
The psionic whatever
off of the
Ghidorah's skull.
Yeah.
The psycho. See, that I can go with. Because I don't understand how that works. But I know...
Are you telling me you understand how energy works?
If I'm losing cell reception when I go up into the mountain, there's no way you're sending
If Willy
information.
Wonka can send a Mike TV into the television, anything is possible.
I mean, again, that makes more sense.
You know
than
why
them
it's possible?
sending this
Because her daddy
information.
gets what she wants, what he wants.
I guess that's true. There's that line of dialogue for sure. But yeah, so they don't even actually need the power source. They just needed some information about it. And as soon as they get this, like, they're like, okay, bloop. we've installed it. We've installed the new power source.
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
Intellectual property.
I guess we kind of abandoned the Millie Bobby Brown story, but that's okay because they kind of did too. Also.
Yeah.
She's back. They're sneaking in the base. They've gotten to China on accident. And they
Don't you hate it when you accidentally end up in China?
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, how do I keep getting in this situation?
They're in the full out Umbrella Corporation facility underground.
They find out that they're making skull crawlers.
Yeah, they're making skull crawlers so that they can test out Mechagodzilla.
I think this is a good point to interject this. I hadn't seen Kong Skull Island yet until my preparation for this movie.
Dude, it's dope,
So
right?
glad I finally watched it. John C. Reilly,
Yes.
show stealer.
Yeah.
That movie's great though. It plays out real well. It has good pacing.
Why do you call him Skull? It sounds neat. Like I've
I
honestly
say it out
never
loud.
said it out loud. Like call him whatever you want.
I love the whole Vietnam thing going on in Kong Skull Island too. It's a really cool spin on that. And then what I like about that movie too is that it's not just another Kong remake, which most Kong movies
It's original.
are.
Yeah, it's super original.
And you get Samuel L. Jackson shouting out his role in Jurassic Park with the good old fashioned "Hold on to your butts." I got so excited the first time I heard that.
That is good stuff.
Yeah, Skull Island is great.
Okay, so I was thinking about this last night after I finished the movie. This is a situation where nothing that Millie Bobby Brown did in the movie had any impact whatsoever on the events of the story.
Yeah, not really.
Oh,
Except for
well-
like stressing her dad out a bunch.
Yeah.
The only arguable part is like her Kiwi friend like has to play a pivotal role in the last battle. And
But does he really?
But
though?
and why it does is beyond me.
It doesn't even make sense why that would work. But even then, like it bought them maybe half a second.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really do anything. It probably would have went down the same way if they just weren't there. It's just really weird when you write a whole. The point of her character story was for us to know what's going on inside the base.
It's like
We need to know that they're making Mechagodzilla.
yeah. Which honestly probably would have been cooler if he just blasted out of that mountain. It was just like
Yeah. Like if they just never told us anything and they just alluded, we're making a power source, and the next thing you know, boom.
We're expecting kaiju busting out, some kaiju we haven't seen before busting out of this mountainside, and then what?
Yeah.
Mechagodzilla?
Oh, what's going on?
I thought it was really cool that scene when they do reveal Mechagodzilla though, where he grabs that skull crawler, just blasts him in half.
Yes.
lifts him up.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla looks really cool in this movie.
Real
I like
cool.
his design. He's very lean, very evil looking.
Very.
A lean, mean fighting machine.
And the added machinery on him and stuff, and like the added abilities is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I gotta say. So did we miss the second fight of Godzilla v Kong?
No, this doesn't happen. This is like it's a race to the end. After they once they get the power source,
Right.
they get to finally test Mechagodzilla again. And Mechagodzilla going online causes Godzilla to attack Hong
Online
Kong.
and then immediately offline.
Yeah, online immediately offline. It causes Godzilla to attack, but when he gets there, and this is weird too, they're telling us that it's Mechagodzilla who's the reason Godzilla's been attacking places because he's sensed, what's happening. But then when he gets to Hong Kong and he blasts a hole in the earth, I was like, oh, he's blasting down to the base.
Yeah.
But then he's not.
No.
He's blasting down to King Kong.
To Kong.
And it's like, okay.
Who he senses is like right below him somehow.
Well, they somehow triggered that power source, and Kong picked up that signal. You know
so
what I mean?
that's got to be what it is. It's
Yeah.
the power source.
He thought like, oh, this is that thing I've been looking for, and he got
Yeah.
down there and was like, it's just a stupid monkey again.
Yeah, and he's like, hello. This is also when the bad guy's daughter gets like crushed in what's got to be
that
one
was
of
great.
the dumbest decisions by a bad guy in a movie ever.
Yeah.
Zoom by the giant gorilla.
And
Yeah.
like one of the worst like last words, just no.
Yeah.
I love his face while he does it too. They really emote on Kong's face in this movie, and he's just like chumps.
Yeah, the hole's blasted open. They can just fly out. And for some reason, she's like, shoot him. So they shoot at Kong in the back with this tiny little machine gun. I mean, if you were, a person, it would probably blow you to pieces. But if you're a giant ape,
So this is another big problem I have with these movies. Like they've fought these monsters several times. They know most of their weapons are useless, yet they still send these
continue.
soldiers out there with standard issue M4s shooting 223. Like, what are you doing,
Frank, that's probably the most realistic part of these movies is we got to spend that $700 billion military budget every year.
We already spent the money.
They're already bought.
Well, then you know that, like, okay, so Mechagodzilla's got this cannon that can hurt these creatures. So why did we need to put it in a giant robot? Like, couldn't we have just made this cannon on like a plane,
a ship, or a plane,
a
or
ship,
something?
or a tank of some
Well,
kind?
they weren't privy to that information.
Yeah, I
this
guess
guy was doing all this stuff in secret.
But even like all of the missiles and things like that, it's effective when Mechagodzilla does it.
Yeah.
But when like the army shoots a barrage of missiles, it doesn't do anything.
Well, it looks way
Sometimes
cooler
it
when
stuns
Mechagodzilla's shooting him out of his neck. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Sometimes it stuns them. Depends on if they have the plot armor or not on.
Yeah, it's the cool factor that plays into it.
But you know, the whole Millie Bobby Brown thing, like we had to see it so that we could see the Jaeger setup.
Yeah, that
which
too.
This is what this is. Like the Sarazawa-san in the Ghidorah skull is essentially like a proto Jaeger.
Yes. And okay, so we might have skipped over this a bit. In the last movie, Ghidorah gets killed. Kong's like ripping heads off and stuff. Blowing heads off in some cases. Godzilla, sorry. And in this movie, they're using 2 of the remaining skulls and somehow using the brain waves because they say, again, in another like one line of dialogue is real quick, his neck was so long that they communicated through
telepathically.
So
telepathy.
One of the brains is in the skull. They kept it in the skull inside the base that Sanazawa pilots from, and the other one is inside Mechagodzilla, or at least they're
like,
using
the head
part of it or something.
Yeah, they actually store it in the butt.
It's roomier down there.
Classic.
And that's how they're controlling Mechagodzilla, which I thought was really cool. That's
cool.
like a cool sci-fi idea. I think in the past, Mechagodzilla's always been an alien creation, right?
Yeah, it's what aliens bring and drop it on the Earth too.
Yeah.
But you know, it's cool is like you're saying, this sets up a lot, and it's really cool to like see it because in the old Godzilla movies, obviously it gets super sci-fi, but they get like very sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like midway through, like maybe even like you're saying, Mechagodzilla, like there's aliens are like a thing in the Godzilla universe.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, and what's his face is from space too. Well, they say that.
They say that in King of the Monsters. They do say that Ghidorah is probably from space because he's not. He can control the weather and
He's
stuff.
not
like,
supposed to be in this ecosystem. He doesn't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds just a little bit racist.
Yeah, we don't like him around these parts.
But also, he's like a big scary monster. He's wrecking stuff. So
you can't tell him. Can't tell him anything. Okay, yeah. So the Mechagodzilla, they're communicating telepathically. But there's a moment where Sanazawa is like, you know what? We shouldn't be doing this. Like, I can't be piloting this thing. This isn't right. And the other guy's like, just get in the giant robot already. It's like, yes,
Shinji.
Yeah, 2 for 2 with the Ava stuff. This is good. I'm loving it.
I don't need you.
Yeah.
So we're at the part where Godzilla. Well,
yeah, Kong comes out of the hole and they fight
Kong
again.
Jumps in the hole.
Yeah, he jumps in the hole and then
which is actually going
shoots
up.
out of the hole.
Yeah,
the gravity thing does kind of break down a little bit. It does get a little confusing.
I mean, I don't know how gravity works.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't think it's real.
Yeah, I don't think there's any proof that it's real.
I know that gravity's real because I fall all the time. I just don't understand how it works. I haven't mastered it.
Nobody knows.
Much like magnets. Yeah.
Much like magnets. Anyway. They fight round 2, and round 2 is pretty cool because now he's got Mjolnir. You know what I mean? He's he's fighting with his axe.
Pretty cool.
That also absorbs the radiation. I thought that was really
I think
cool.
it's a Godzilla.
Well, it's like
scale.
made from a Godzilla scale.
Is that what it is? You know what? I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, so I guess they were saying like they proposed that both of their races had like an ancient war like in the Hollow Earth or something like that.
Yeah.
They've been battling for forever.
They hit it in the opening credits, which I thought was cool because they kept the same credit vibes that they did in the other Godzilla movies.
Yeah, like the
it's like
footage kind of.
Yeah, it's like old footage and like film negatives and newspapers and stuff like
really
that.
cool.
Yeah, that is nice.
And they even use some sound bites from like Skull Island and stuff like that. It's really cool.
There's some good stuff there. Second fight's awesome. The second fight's really cool too.
At Night in Hong Kong, that's a great one, dude.
You even get a little bit of a shout out to the original like King Kong of him hanging off of that building that looks like the Empire State Building. They nail it.
Yeah, I love when
really
he's
nice.
Like at that point too, he's like tricking Godzilla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Godzilla's like looking around for him, and he like throws a crane to like make him like as a decoy, and then he just jumps on him. It's real good, man. And you definitely get some Pacific Rim vibes with all the neon in this part too.
I was gonna say the Pacific Rim fight's also in Hong Kong, isn't it?
I think so.
Or if it's not,
There's
it's
a
like
bunch, like
an
this-
identical city.
There's like Tokyo, Hong Kong. I think some of it's in Sydney, but like I think the neon is probably Hong Kong. But what an awesome fight! I mean,
Yeah.
I love how they really nailed down like going harder into the fights, making them longer, making them more detailed, and like a little more choreographed. You get to see like, I liked that you get to see Kong like really fight in this one, like jumping on buildings, doing a little parkour, and like just the way he fights Godzilla was super interesting. Like Godzilla's like keeps trying to put his atomic breath out, and like I love how he couldn't get it out because he's just like Kong's like stopping it every time he tries.
He learned the rhythm to that boss, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? He figured out how to fight him.
And they did it, guys. They did the tree shove down Godzilla's throat moment with the axe.
Yeah.
Because he's about to do the atomic breath and he just shoves the axe in his mouth.
Man, that shot is so cool when he's floating through the air, just absorbing that.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Slam! It's fantastic.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah, and unlike Thor, Kong does go for the head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He was
He was going for the
head.
kill.
He was.
Which brings it to the next part where Godzilla absolutely spanks that monkey ass. Oh my God, right? Like, there's a moment where like they kind of chill out, but then Godzilla gets pissed. And I love how he changes his fight dynamic. It's like kind of the thing in all of the latest Monsterverse, like Godzilla moments where Godzilla's like, all right, no more playing around. Like, I'm actually going to fight.
Yeah, very Dragon Ball Z, actually.
Definitely.
It's very, very, very anime. Yeah. And then they get into it. Sorry, Frank. It's just the truth.
Dude, but you get to see like Godzilla crawl and stuff, and he uses more tail motion, and then he does that scratch, like he just scratches the hell out of
Dude, when he's
Kong's
just like
chest.
stomping on his chest,
Yeah.
just like trying to squeeze the life out of him.
He's like, submit.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff's pretty crazy.
Say uncle.
Which
I yield.
they get to the point where like Kong's laid out, Mecha Godzilla comes in and he starts kicking Godzilla's butt. And then they're like, well, we need to like defibrillate this monkey, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the little girl can
That
feel
was
his
weird.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
Super missed opportunity on the soundtrack here. They should have gone with Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart, man. And then jumped into like the next fight. Kickstart My Heart.
Dude, that would have been awesome.
Did you all notice all the like strange, like kind of old pop music choices for King Kong? There's a few like song choices that really surprised me.
I thought there was like a Kongway Twitty song.
It was something like that.
Kongway Twitty?
A Kongway Twitty.
Kongway.
Yeah, it was an interesting vibe.
Yeah. It worked for me. But I just thought it was so funny. Like, I don't think they've used licensed.
Maybe it's
music
because
for
Kong
these
is like
before.
from the 60s. You know,
That's probably what it is.
You know, it's
Yeah.
Like
Well, I think Kong's like that gets confusing though, because Kong is really from like the
he's
30s.
like the 30s. But
Well, we
the
really
new
only know
Kong-
when,
But
like-
Skull Island.
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's right.
We don't really know how old either of these creatures are.
They say he's an adolescent in Skull Island.
Yeah, he's
They
still
say
growing.
He's growing.
And
yeah.
don't they say that King Kong is awakened by nuclear testing?
Isn't
Or
that
King Kong, Godzilla.
Godzilla
I keep
is.
saying King
Yeah, yeah.
Kong. Yeah, so we have a well, who knows how long he was asleep for though, so.
But it's made clear at the end of this fight that Godzilla is King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters.
Still.
Yeah, I think Godzilla is a clear winner here.
I mean, he like dislocates Kong's arm at one point, and it was pretty great.
Yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
could argue that their look at each other like before they go off into the
Yeah.
sunset could be like mutual respect, but
Real,
I took it as
recognize real.
Godzilla being like, you know, you're only alive because I'm letting you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Although I think he could say the same thing at the end of the movie, King Kong.
Yeah, they both needed each other.
Yeah.
Aw.
Because it's very clear as soon as Mechagodzilla comes out that Mechagodzilla could have kicked both of their asses.
Oh,
yeah. Could have wrecked him for sure. Oh, and when Mechagodzilla comes out too, that's our third Ava reference because it's like straight up Nerve HQ.
Yeah,
It is
it's
the Geo front
pyramid.
base. Yeah.
Yeah, and just busts out too.
It's so weird. It's
Did you know that apparently the design of the skull crawlers from Skull Island was like a nod to like the first angel in
oh.
Evangelion?
I didn't know that, but that makes sense. It looks just like it.
Apparently, like I think it's Max Bornstein or something, the screenwriter. He's like a huge Ava fan, so like
how funny.
He like wrote it into it to be like that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay, it comes across.
So it's definitely on purpose. I think that Nerve HQ one was.
Oh, and I got so upset too because apparently I forgot where it's at. Is it Universal? Universal Japan has like an Evangelion.
Oh yeah, they do.
Like
they have
park.
an Ava, don't they?
And there's some movie experience. It's some like 3D movie thing or something.
I honestly really like those like 4D movies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
They're really like kitschy, but I love them.
Well, the one they have over there is Godzilla versus Evangelion. it's like
crossover event.
It's the 3 Avas fighting Godzilla, and I wish I could watch it. It sounds so amazing.
I mean, it could be a possibility now. Let's just say this. I mean, not Evangelion, but Pacific Rim. It's like, very likely. Because Pacific Rim, if I'm not mistaken, is set way further in the future. Even the first movie.
Yes. I think they have to go alternate dimension or something, though. Which
Maybe.
they have opened up, right? That's how they got rid of Ghidorah in King of Monsters, wasn't it?
Was it an alternate dimension?
I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. It's Pacific Rim that they do that, where they open up.
Oh, they do an alternate dimension.
And they go
in the
into a
second
different
one,
world.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you see, because the first kaiju comes out in Pacific Rim. We get to see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
now I gotta say, I'm so sad because like the first Pacific Rim, I think might be better than a majority of the Monsterverse movies.
Interesting.
Like as far as like tone, characters actually being enjoyable, and something about the weight in Pacific Rim.
Is it because Jax is in it?
That's it too. It's the swagger. It's the swagger.
It's hard to deny old Charlie.
But there's something about like everything feels really impactful in that movie.
Yeah.
Like when punches land.
Like the first Impactful.
Well,
Yes.
the robots are dope.
Yeah.
Like, that's like.
Oh yeah, and the
lot of
robot
it.
design is great too. But then man, does Pacific Rim really go down?
I was gonna say Godzilla, or like what comes next? Kong Skull Island is the second one,
Yeah.
right? Kong Skull Island's way more enjoyable than Pacific Rim 2.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. The sequel to this Pacific Rim is really bad.
And then they put out some Pacific Rim anime on Netflix, and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm done.
Well, it's because Del Toro wasn't part of the second one.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. You get someone as visionary as Del Toro.
He was too busy signing off on the worst movie we've
Shape
ever
of Water?
seen. No, Scary Stories.
Oh yeah, sad times.
Well, you know, this is probably a pretty good time to bring it up too. I really like this movie, and I know I'm making a bunch of gripes, but they're not really big gripes or anything. But King of the Monsters, though, to me was just stronger visually. Like there's something more memorable about the way that the characters are presented. It feels like the monsters have a little more personality just in the way that it's shot. Like, especially when I think of like the first time Rodan shows up.
Dude, that's a great scene.
And you don't even like see him right away. You just see like him fly over that village and things just
Decimate
getting decimated. Yeah. Or when Ghidorah's on top of that volcano, just like, and the volcano's like, going off and lightning's in the air, and then they're like pulling the camera back and there's just like a cross like in the foreground.
Yeah.
It's just such intense imagery.
It is really awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they kind of do like huge different color tone with it too, because each monster has like its own distinct color. Also, like Ghidorah's like the yellow lightning, and Rodan's like red, and blue for Godzilla, and Mothra
got the beautiful aurora colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Mothra is missing from this movie.
Yeah, well, Mothra's
dead as hell.
Oh hell, I forgot.
Mothra
gets
turned
into
into
mist.
mist. Yeah, in the last one.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
She's coming back.
probably.
She's
Yeah,
coming
I would
back.
think so.
Hollow Earth, y'all.
But
Yeah, moths are like phoenixes, right?
I think so. I think that's how it works. That's why you can't get rid of them.
There's
That
definitely a
makes
lot of
sense.
moths in Phoenix.
True. That checks out.
Shout out to Mothpocalypse 2020.
Oh yeah,
That was very interesting.
taking over the world
There are
again.
moths everywhere.
I just I think the fights in this one are maybe more impressive for sure in this new one. But
Yes.
something about that, I don't know who directed the last one. I know we knew at the time because we reviewed that movie.
I'm pretty sure it's the guy. Wasn't it Gareth Edwards?
Was it Was it the guy who did Monsters? That's
He did the first one.
That's the first one.
Let me see who did it.
I keep accidentally opening my notes instead of my IMD map because they're both yellow.
But yeah, I appreciate the visual style of that movie a
It
little
was
bit more.
Michael Dougherty.
Oh, he did a couple horror movies. If I
It's
remember.
weird. They just keep getting horror people to do these movies. That's so funny
Trick or
to me.
Treat. Krampus. He did Krampus.
Yeah. And Krampus, man, what a strong visual style in that movie too.
Yeah,
you know
legit.
what I mean? It would have been cool. I would have loved to have that guy back. Although I think this gentleman's done a fantastic
Adam
job.
Wingard
with this
did a
new one.
lot. I mean, this
Yeah.
movie is very easy to mess up.
Yeah, definitely.
And they, even though there's like cheesiness in it, I mean, you have to get into the territory now of Godzilla and the Monsterverse and King Kong, where things get beyond belief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes cheesy ain't bad. You know what I mean? Much like the Taco Bell quesalupa. If you haven't tried it yet,
I was just talking crap about
my God, it's
didn't like
delicious. I loved it.
He was talking trash about this.
That's crazy because you're Mr. Bell.
Yeah.
I am Mr. Bell, and
You put his kids through college.
I did. It's just okay. I wasn't thrilled.
Hard disagree. I was like,
Dang. hard
oh my
disagree.
God, this is delicious.
This is tacos.
Yeah.
Well, can we just speculate a little bit on what's going to happen here?
No, I don't want to speculate at all.
I don't want to speculate. I just want to hope and wish. Give me Jet Jaguar.
Well,
Okay, there we go.
if the Jaeger universe opens up, I bet you Jet Jaguar is coming out.
This kind of threw me for a loop because I was honestly expecting Mecha Ghidorah to make an appearance, but after
so too.
watching this movie
I don't think they
and
will.
seeing how they've
They kind of used it up.
they used it up. So what would make sense next? Maybe Destroya.
Destroyer would be the big guy.
Yeah.
And then Space Godzilla.
Space Godzilla would be too much to jump for the next movie. Like
Yeah.
people are going to be like,
Space Godzilla? Yeah.
Now, what would be cool?
They have to open up the alien thing first.
Yeah,
Like,
they also have to figure out how to write this in, but a destroy all monsters scenario.
yeah. Well, they kind of already did that.
They sort of did, but I want a few more. I want Anguirus and I want Gigan.
Oh, yeah. We do need Anguirus.
We're missing a couple of the essentials, but it's too late to just bring Anguirus in for a movie and he be the focus. You know what I mean?
I mean, as long as they don't do Son of Godzilla, we'll probably be all right.
Yeah, I think they should avoid those.
I think the Hollow Earth is what they laid as like a, all right, there's everything in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot in here. And I think as far as things that's come from the sky, like they're going to lay the groundwork for that too.
Lay the groundwork for the Sky game.
For the Sky game. I think they should go the Destroyer route or Hedorah.
Yeah,
Hedorah or
that's a good one.
Biolante would be a really good one.
That would be interesting to see with the current
Global climate.
Yeah, we're just the graphical style, and
Oh,
it would
yeah.
be an impactful story today too.
Yeah, because Biolante is like it's like a plant creature, right?
Yeah, it's
that
like
erupts from the earth.
Like, feed me, Dave.
Essentially, yeah. It's like because of global warming, because of
Yeah.
pollution and stuff like that.
And then Heater is a smog monster, isn't he?
Hedorah is a smog monster too.
A lot of pollution stuff we can go into.
Smaug.
Smog.
And Hedorah is one of the only ones to really defeat Godzilla, if I remember right.
Well, King Kong did in the '60s one. So we know it came out.
Redemption.
If you watch the U.S. Cup, baby.
pew pew.
I mean, I think that pretty much. I think that pretty much sums up everything. You know, the only thing that I think is I would have, and I must hesitate to say this because it is a really well done movie, but I think I might have preferred if either the movie was 30 minutes longer, just so I felt like it's like Mechagodzilla shows up, they fight, and he's gone.
Yeah. He didn't get space to breathe.
Yeah, and like Apex, like I wish I would have known a little bit more about them instead of them being just, anonymous bad corporation, which I can write off for sure, but it just felt a little crammed.
Yeah.
They should have continued some stuff with Tywin Lannister's group from the first movie.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
they'll release the Wingard.
The Wingard cut. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
If I hear one more person say, "Oh, we should release this cut," I'm gonna like strangle people. Like, stop asking for the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. That movie's not gonna get any
that
better.
movie's trash.
It's
man.
not gonna get any better.
And the James Gunn one looks so much better already.
Yeah, like that. There was your mistake. And it's Disney's mistake, but James Gunn's gonna put out a good movie. The guy's he's amazing.
This movie is super enjoyable. I really wish I could have seen it in theaters
Yes,
You know
I can't
what I
believe
mean?
I didn't bring that up.
because
Yeah,
the sound. I cranked my stereo for this.
I
and
set up my studio monitors. I fully enjoyed my audio experience.
it was so good.
I think I'm gonna go watch it in theaters. I'm gonna wait till I get my second vaxi shot.
Nice.
and then hit it up. Maybe after the theater died. Well, it's probably pretty dead right now, but I don't know how many
Now's
people
a good time. Yeah,
I don't know how many people are going back. That's my
This is
question.
one.
I mean,
of the,
they only made $9 million like in this
In
first
1
3 days,
day.
You know what I mean?
Or 2 days.
Yeah, it's 2 days.
And
it's not even the weekend.
that
yet.
brand new East Side Alamo has an IMAX theater in it.
Oh man!
So it's like, if I'm gonna watch it again, that's what I want to
Dude,
do. I want to go see it in IMAX.
the sound is incredible in this movie.
I
like.
and that's another thing too. Like, I was so I felt like when I left King of the Monsters, I felt perfect. I was like, this is it. I am 100% satisfied.
Completely fulfilled.
But what if I had saw that movie just on my TV downstairs? Would it be different than seeing it in the theater? You know
You're
what
talking
I mean?
about King of the Monsters? Oh,
Yeah, as opposed to like this being my first viewing just on a and I have a decent speaker system. It's not bad or
And
anything.
a pretty big TV.
It is a pretty big TV. But I mean, it's not an IMAX theater.
It's not like
you know what I mean?
AK Dolby.
You should have just sat
outness.
closer to the TV, idiot.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling the bass in my heart. You know what I mean? That's what I need.
I can't imagine. And especially when Mechagodzilla comes on, I bet that the sound design would come through those subs like so good.
You know, this movie in theaters is one of those movies where the theater next to them, you're like, Jesus Christ, could they turn the volume down?
Yeah. You're trying to watch like Little Women or something in the theater. Like, what is going on over there?
I mean, there's like a trade-off for this. Is like I got to watch this movie at home. I got to watch it for essentially free or less than I would have paid to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
And I can watch this movie as many times as I want before April 30th.
True.
But at the same time, it probably wouldn't have beat that theatrical experience of just being like, oh my God, like seeing it on this massive screen. I still felt very fulfilled at the end of this movie, though. Like the last scene, I was just like, good.
Well, I think it was beneficial to myself to be able to watch it at home because I got to pick the time that I watched it versus rushing after work to meet you guys for like the day opening and then falling asleep halfway through the movie.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Frank,
the first 20 minutes is very like you could fall asleep like pretty easy.
If you're gonna fall asleep, it's gonna be in the first 20 minutes for sure.
I mean, I slept through Endgame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What a bummer.
It's a long movie. Man.
Yeah,
it's a good movie though.
That's a real good
but
movie.
a 3-hour long movie, and you started at 11:30 at night. You know what are you
How
gonna do?
good can a movie be if you care about none of the characters? You know what I mean?
I guess
Well, that's fair.
true. Yeah,
that's fair.
Except for like Doctor Strange is cool.
You telling me you don't care?
And I like Spider-Man.
I was gonna say you don't like Little Spider-Man.
I love
Spidey.
every Spider-Man story.
Right. You can't hate on Spider-Man too much.
Well,
Oh, well, sorry. There was one last thing I want to say. The other thing was maybe if you couldn't have made it longer, maybe they should have saved Mechagodzilla for its own movie.
Okay.
I think people would have been fine. Yeah. I feel like next movie, Mechagodzilla 2, maybe. That might be the way to go. They rebuild Mechagodzilla.
Yo, how cool was it when he ripped out that skull, though? That was a
That was
total
sweet.
Scorpion moment. Just
Yeah. Fatality. Yeah. Good stuff.
But
Good
yeah,
stuff.
you're right. Mechagodzilla deserves his own movie.
I think
Yeah,
people-
even if we ruin the whole thing for you right now, like there's no way we're doing it justice. Like you still need to watch
Yeah.
this movie.
Great.
And if you can see it safely, go to the theater. I think you're gonna enjoy the experience.
If I was 12 years old and I watched this movie, I would be in heaven right now.
Yeah,
That is
man.
like the type of movie you watch as a young boy.
Oh, yeah.
I know
dude.
my youngest nephew was so excited to watch this
Just
movie.
like standing in front of the TV, just like,
Yeah. I'm told he like started his day being like, Godzilla versus Kong is on HBO Max. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah, I watched it right away.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's going to kick us over to
Character limit. Extended.
powered by Extends.
That's a sponsor. That'd be a funny sponsor. You know what I mean? I would love to do those
Can you-
spot ads. Hey, how's your boner?
Can you put an echo on that Extends too?
Yeah, I got you.
So what are we talking about, Frank?
Today we're talking about a movie. We're going to talk a little bit more about a movie we talked just a little bit about just a week ago, which was Thank You for Smoking. What a delightful satirical adventure.
I remember renting this movie from the Red Box when it was like just a new thing and just doing it on a whim. No one told me about this movie, and it's amazing.
I'm pretty sure I rented it from Hollywood Video because I'm a loyal customer and I was still trying to keep them afloat.
I was like, dang, is Redbox that old now? I guess it is, huh?
Redbox is old now.
That's crazy to think about.
You guys remember getting Netflix DVDs
Yes.
like in the mail?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I remember yelling at my family because they couldn't find the DVD of one they rented, and I couldn't rent until we sent that one back.
Or like the worst, you get like a DVD and it's so scratched it won't play.
Oh, that sucks. Well, let me just send it back real quick. I saw this movie with a buddy of mine in high school. It was just like a weekend we were hanging out together. And he was like, this is funny stuff. Let's watch it. And I just remember thinking like, man, Aaron Eckhart is so cool in this movie.
Yeah, he is.
And then now as an adult, I'm like, man, Aaron Eckhart is like such a self-centered in this movie. Like it's
very Jesselnecky.
Oh yeah. Well, but with really cruel intentions.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like
At
Yeah,
first.
he's just trying to pay the mortgage.
yeah, sure he is. I'm sure you are, Nick Naylor.
No, it's definitely one of those things that's like, well, I'm good at it. Like, I like feeling
Yeah.
really good about myself.
It probably caused his divorce.
It's like Lord of War, but just without as much shooting.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the vibe I got from it too.
So Thank You for Smoking, if you've never seen it, is Aaron Eckhart. He's Nick Naylor. He's a lobbyist for Big Tobacco. And basically the movie is him combating people with words
Yeah.
on why cigarettes aren't bad for you. And it ultimately is like a conflict between him and William H. Macy, who's a senator that's trying to get the skull and crossbones added to cigarette packaging.
I
So
love how juxtaposed they made those two characters. Like
Yeah.
Nick Naylor's just like this super suave, like always manicured dude. And then Senator Oderlin, he's like got this outdated like polyester suit. When they have him, his name sucks. Senator Oderlin Finister. And then when they show him in his office, he's wearing like strappy sandals with socks. He's just like such a dweeb. It's fantastic.
and so easily shaken too. Like
Yeah.
there's so many times where he just like hits him with something and he doesn't know what to say next. He's like scrambling. Well, you were talking about stacked cast in the last one, man. That's one of my favorite things about this movie. Is just the cast is insane.
Dude, the mod squad, like,
Yeah.
those guys are fantastic. I'd watch a TV series on those three characters alone.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty sweet.
Mod Squad, a spin-off. You know what? I feel like I did come across something in my notes. I'm going to check this real quick.
Besides, like, even like super recognizable faces everywhere, even in tiny little rows, like actress Melora Hardin, who plays Jan Levinson in The Office.
Jan Levinson Gould, I presume.
No, just Levinson now. Drop the Gould.
And then, what's this kid actor's name? The one who plays the son with the round face.
Super strange face.
That kid always comes off like a future serial killer. Somehow
Yeah.
more so in this movie than he did in Running Scared.
He's in something else too. What's the other thing that he's in?
He kind of looks like he would be Michael Shannon's son.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, that guy also looks like he could be skinning someone alive or something.
Oh, he probably has.
This is gonna drive me nuts. I had just looked it up, and I feel like it was a movie that we had talked about
Cameron Bright.
or that we had watched. Oh, it's The Butterfly Effect. We had just watched Butterfly Effect together.
Oh yeah.
He's the young bad kid, I guess. I don't know. Depends on what you take away from that movie. Oh yeah. Here we go.
Bum, 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 bum.
This is one that who knows if it's going to happen. March 28th, 2017. Thank You for Smoking series adapted as Gun Control series. Thank You for Shooting.
Oh man,
But who knows if it's ever going to come out
that's
now.
a bit spicy.
And that's before the coronavirus blew up so many things that were in production, I'm pretty sure.
That shot a lot more people dead.
Well, that too. But
We're back to normal now, though.
oh yeah,
now
right.
Now it's just
It's like, the people are out. Let the shooting start again. Let's see.
it's open season.
Well, no, it's not on IMDb, so I don't think it's I think it's just one of those things that was up in the air.
Like
but
a
then,
word of mouth thing.
that would have been cool to see this idea kind of revisited. Man, I don't know if there's much more to say that I didn't say already in the review. I love this
the
movie.
book report, right?
Yeah, I had the long one, man. I just love this movie. I think it's great. I think the performances are awesome. I think it's really well written. That's the biggest part of it. The writing is just so sharp, and I think it's challenging to write a character who's supposed to be really smart and clever, because then you have to be really smart
Yeah.
and clever as the writer.
If the author's not, yeah.
Yeah, but they succeed. They succeed for sure. So
Yeah, and I feel like it's real tight too. There is no real fat in that movie. Like everything plays a role to like character development, or it's got a decent laugh. And everybody does such a good job.
Yep.
yeah,
Even Katie Holmes.
Even
Yeah.
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes is great in this
Who's
movie.
usually like as bland as a piece of paper.
Scientology, you know?
That'll do
Not
it
anymore.
To you. That'll do it to you.
Well, fellas, I think that's gonna head and kick us on over to Oh, that's interesting.
How interesting.
Everyone, get your shorts ready.
Yep.
Get your shirts ready. It's White Boy Summer.
Now,
We're gearing up for a White Boy Summer.
I'm really excited to see what this is all about because this is something that happened in a collective group chat that we have with our friend group.
Yeah.
That started off as an Animal Crossing thing and has turned into like a weird meme
was
place,
stonks.
but also like our like stock chat.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
But I was busy at work. By the time I saw this, I was like 37 messages behind, so I still have no idea what this is about.
We're an eclectic group here.
yeah, lots of conversations going on.
So White Boy Summer, which is the summer of 2021, deemed from Chet Hanks.
Sounds pretty white.
Chet Hanks, yep. You might know him as being the unknown son of Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
For reals?
It's
That sounds like a joke I would make. Yeah. Oh, is he Tom Hanks' son?
what's that movie where it's like one sibling gets all the good stuff? Oh, it's Twins with Danny DeVito
Gets
and
the
Arnold
leftovers.
Schwarzenegger. In this case, Colin Hanks is Arnold Schwarzenegger, which means that Chet Hanks
Which is
got all
strange.
the leftovers.
Yeah, Colin Hanks is like a real nice all-around guy. And it's not that Chet Hanks is a bad guy. Let's just get this out here.
No. He seems like a nice guy.
Chet Hanks has just graduated recently from Northwestern University. He's kind of laid low. He's had some roles here and there, but he's also an aspiring rapper and now
Weird.
influencer.
And also sometimes talking in the Jamaican dialect.
In a very offensive to me.
Yes.
Ooh, he's doing a Miss Cleo.
Essentially.
Yes,
I mean,
he is.
yeah, it is.
Damn.
Yeah.
But he likes to go on rants, and particularly from this last weekend, declaring the summer of 2021 White Boy Summer, which is
Seems like a summer we had a few years ago.
And cut to
August 3rd.
Cut to Charleston.
Yeah, for reals.
So White Boy Summer kind of circulates as a philosophy of life that is ever growing.
a-
From
Am I gonna have to buy a romper?
It's a modern day.
No.
It's a modern day lifestyle, philosophical decision.
but you do have to follow some rules and regs, quote unquote rules and
I'm
regs.
sorry, I feel like we're skipping one important thing. Chet Hanks went out to say he was like, all right, y'all, like on a TikTok video or something or whatever it is.
This was all dictated through TikTok.
Yeah,
I'm
something
pretty sure.
did on TikTok. He's like, all right, y'all, we're gearing up for White Boy Summer over here. I hope y'all can vibe with that. And just to be clear, I don't mean Trump.
Yeah. He's like, quote, I'm not talking about Trump, NASCAR type White Boy Summer. I'm talking about me, John B., Jack Harlow type White Boy Summer. I don't know who those
I don't know who these
are.
guys are either. Okay, I'm gonna look this up.
So again, this was all collected through a bunch of rants on TikTok, where Chet Hanks is delineating what is and what isn't White Boy Summer. So let's just go through a little bit of the rules and regs thus far as to what is White Boy Summer. White Boy Summer, he says, no plaid shirts. Can't be looking like a picnic table. Just leave that shit at home. The vineyard vines, Ralph Lauren, just put on a black tee, white tee, just keep it simple. No Sperry topsiders. That's not the type of white boys we're talking about. Get yourself some Vans, some Chucks, and some Jordans. Respectable.
You know what?
Although Vans, not great art support.
No, they're
New
not very-
Balance. Woo, woo.
I don't know. What is it? Sperry's? I don't know if they have great art support.
I don't think we live in the
not.
desert. Not a lot of many people wear Sperry's
No.
here. It's more of like a boat shoe.
Now, I'm,
Very few boats.
I'm still not willing to give up on plaid. Okay.
No, I always wear plaid.
Let's. I'll look like a picnic table if I need to, or a picnic
Well,
blanket.
it's because you're a snack.
Oh, thank you.
He continues. We should just delineate that Chet Hanks seems to have great intentions in everything, and he's not offensive other
No.
than his Miss Cleo accent.
Yeah. Other than his cultural appropriation, that's the thing that's gonna get him in trouble.
He seems to not wish ill will on anyone.
No.
He says another rule and reg being no calling girls smoke shows. That
Which I have never done.
not because it's a little misogynist or anything like that. It's that the term is played out, dude. You can't see a hot chick and call her smoke. That's over with.
I feel like I've never heard that term referring to a female. Smoke to me has always been like, hey, you don't want none of this smoke. Better chill out.
Didn't even know that context.
I don't even know that context. No. Now, I've only heard that context directed towards women just from Danny. And from Danny, I mean like several times for years.
For years.
But if you can stop doing that, that'd be cool, Danny. That'd probably be pretty nice.
I don't know. Seach has to get on the same page.
Yeah, I agree that I've never heard anyone refer to someone as a smoke show. But of course, we're living in a different world than Chet Hanks.
Also, another thing to go against David, anything salmon colored, burn that is what he said.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I had just busted out the salmon shirt for this. I should have switched shirts for this segment.
That wouldn't be very white boy summer.
It wouldn't be very white boy summer. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm not vibing with white boy summer.
Another one to kill everyone here in El Paso. No cargo shorts. That's just
where am I put all my things?
Well, backward hats are still good. Okay. Dad hats are iffy. What is very iffy, what I'm getting very close to banning, is all dad hats.
Get out of here.
I know. Wait. What are we talking about? Dad hat?
Dad hat. Baseball cap with the, like, not like a snapback,
no,
but like the adjustable strap.
I wear dad hats exclusively. My 47 snapbacks.
My hat collection is almost mostly dad hats.
No. He does have a little bit of, clarification in here. If an individual has a clean fade, he may rock a dad hat, preferably backwards.
Hey.
Because if you rock a dad hat forwards, you're really starting to border on not white boy summer.
Only wear it forwards. The only time I've ever worn my dad hat backwards was for the 90s party.
Hey, man, I wear a dad hat backwards anytime. Respect personal space at parties, especially while drunk. I mean,
seems fair.
You know what? Great rule, Chet Hanks.
I think that's one that everyone, whether we're in white boy summer or white boy winter, you should follow that rule.
Or any other ethnicity or sexes.
Yeah.
Which... just a fun little interjection here. I just thought it was super cool. I filled out the paperwork for like a gun transfer the other day, and in the sex, like gender choices, non-binary is one of the choices on the thing now.
NRA getting ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's not the NRA. The
Not
NRA
anymore.
doesn't do anything for gun rights.
No.
This was like a legislative decision.
Flip-flops are good, especially if they're the Gucci ones. Rock them with some socks, whatever, some sweatpants. This is a quote. But
wait. He's saying to rock socks and flip-flops.
Sandals?
No.
Is he saying sandals or flip-flops?
Flip-flops, which is gross.
Like slips.
Particularly no, man. The flip-flop is the worst one to wear socks with.
Now, does
he say anything about Crocs?
No, not yet. But he says, quote, no rainbow or reef flip-flops, especially those ones with the bottle opener. We all have that friend who wears those with everything. Nighttime, daytime. Get a different thing for your foot. Stop talking around with your toes out. He also says, which kills me, Birkenstocks are banned, not kosher. I love Birks. I wear Birks all the time.
I've never worn Birks.
Oh, dude, I love it. It forms to your foot and it gets all sweaty and nasty, but then it's also just amazing.
Sounds like a bad sell.
It's a good outdoor
I'm not
shoe.
convinced.
It's a great outdoor shoe. Let me just say that. No more Bush Light or Natty Ice for all the kickbacks, pre-games, or ragers.
Yeah, that's been a rule for a long time.
That should have been a rule.
Ever since you're old enough to purchase alcohol for yourself.
When you have to stop giving someone $20 to buy you a 30-pack, that's when you stop drinking those beers.
Country music is most definitely not white boy summer. Oh, no, wait.
Unexpected twist.
Country music is most definitely white boy summer.
Okay.
Unexpected twist.
Okay, on brand. Okay, this tracks.
Whew, he's got a big quote on that one that I don't want to get in because I see a lot of expletives. No ill will towards anyone. Straight vibing.
Wow.
That's nice.
Lovely.
Unless they're wearing like the wrong flip-flops.
Unless they're wearing Birkenstocks or salmon.
Then you got to call them out.
No picnic table, fellas.
You need to get back home with that, man. I gotta say, I agree with most of these rules. I think it's problematic calling something white boy summer.
It is weird.
Don't understand it.
Strange branding.
He could have called it like, let's have a good vibe summer or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't understand. I just want to know what's going on in Chet Hanks' head, but I don't know why I do. Because I really don't care on one hand, but I do care on the other hand.
Oh, man. I did look up John B. and Jack Harlow. They are both rappers.
Okay.
The first song that shows up when you look up John B. is They Don't Know.
Oh.
And the first song when you look up Jack Harlow is What's Poppin'?
See, I didn't know about John B because I didn't do the quick Google, but I did learn that Jack Harlow is actually signed to DJ Johnny Drama's record label.
I don't know who that is.
From Jersey Shore.
Oh,
Wow.
I still don't know who that is. I don't know. Did he have a different name on Jersey Shore? Was he Johnny Drama?
Yeah.
Man,
He's the one with the crazy blowout. Real sharp features in
Okay.
his face.
I know who you're talking about now.
The one who wasn't Mike the Situation or the giant roided out dude or Vinny the young guy.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
just to be fair, everyone, I did read a lot of these rules and regs from the brobible.com.
Okay, shout out.
So there's that. Just vibe with White Boy Summer without calling it White Boy Summer, I guess.
Can I call it Brown Boy Summer? Because we're all
That's
brown
what we
boys.
are, yeah.
Dang.
BBS.
And I just get to tweak the rules.
Can we come up with our own list of Brown Boy Summer rules?
Exclusively Taco Bell quesalupas.
Whoa, I don't know if Danny's gonna be down for that.
No socks with sandals.
Yeah, that's a big change for us.
Not ever.
For sure.
If you're going to do sandals, choose sandals. Don't try and mix it.
I'm gonna say hard plaid, either plaid shirt, plaid shorts, plaid shoes, maybe all three at the same time.
Ooh, risky.
No cutoff shirts.
Never. Never.
Oh, I thought you, for some reason, I was thinking like midriff.
Oh, no, those
like
are fine.
like
Midriff
80s
is
style,
fine.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you were, baby.
So you heard it first.
Yes.
Brown Boy Summer.
Brown Boy Summer 2021.
How nice.
So,
Viva.
all right, before we get any more problematic, let's kick it over to the end of this show. Hey?
It's Peeps and Predicts time, which is weird. We're trying to be less problematic, and we're going to enter into a hypothetical debate with a bunch trying to solve some problems here.
It's
Clank,
time.
clank, clank.
Wow, that's a good clank.
It's going to be perfect for Frank's ears tomorrow. Oh, wait, who's choosing? I think I chose last time.
Well,
We all choose.
We all choose one, yeah. So go ahead and pull the peep.
Oh, I hate Peeps. They're awful.
I love Peeps. They recently came out with some Fruit Loop flavored Peeps. It was one of the most pleasant experiences I've ever had with marshmallows.
They came out with some Pepsi flavored peeps.
Ew.
No, some Peeps flavored Pepsi.
That's it.
That sounds even grosser.
That's nasty, man. All right. So I got Alice versus Laura Croft, Tomb Raider,
Hot.
Angelica in parentheses. Angelina. I'm sorry.
Angelina.
We're talking Alice from Resident Evil.
Okay, I actually have
Not
quite,
Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
I have quite a bit of information about this.
Has he told you about this?
No.
I think
Well,
we did.
I don't know.
Michelle and I have recently been watching the Resident Evil movies.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
We've been trash talking them for so long. It was like, you know what? Let's do it. So we watched the first 4 of 6.
Damn, girl.
Y'all, I'm just saying, I'm just putting this out in the universe. It would make a seriously ridiculous ranking episode because these movies are all so bad and in such different ways. Like
At least they change it up a bit.
every movie, they start over. To the point where the 4th one, they literally rewrite everything that happened in the 3rd movie in like the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
They're like, we really need to get ourselves out of this situation. What's that? We have 100 Alice clones at the end of the 3rd movie. How can we kill them all in the first 15 minutes?
Oh my.
It is so ridiculous. But I'm still having a good time so far.
That leads me into a next rule and reg for Brown Boy Summer is no Resident Evil.
Whoa. Well, obviously that's for Brown Boy Fall. That's what you gotta say. You gotta say the Resident Evil for Brown Boy Fall. Okay, so their predicament. Who's more likely to skip the tap water? And this is in reference to a line in Godzilla versus Kong.
First argument. Laura Croft is British. They probably don't drink tap water.
They probably don't have fluoride in their tap water.
No. They probably still boil everything.
I feel like British people definitely have tap water.
No. But highfalutin British people who live in mansions, they don't drink tap water.
That's true. But she's also at the same time, like, you know, in Belize or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but she's drinking water
can't
straight
drink
from
tap
a
water.
spring.
Yeah, you can't drink tap
Oh,
water
that's
if
true.
you're in a foreign country.
That's a
That's
good
how
point.
you get diarrhea. I'm going to toss the delay on that one, too.
Now, this does get an interesting point because you know what? Alice ain't drinking tap water either because the world has ended and there is no tap water.
Oh.
So is this one moot?
Well, if that is the case, if Alice simply does not have the option, then Lara Croft would be more likely to.
I think so, yeah. Other than the first movie, I think the world ends in the third movie. The world ends somewhere in between 2 and 3.
Is it an extinction?
Yes, it is an extinction that they're all gone. So I'd be comfortable giving this first one to Lara Croft.
All right.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I'll give it to Lara Croft.
So that takes her to...
Who's
to another round.
more likely to survive a kaiju attack?
Okay, well,
This is timely.
this has to be Alice. This has to be Alice. She has like superpowers in these movies.
She can do anything, right?
She can make the floor explode.
What?
Like I can't explain to you guys how wild these movies have gotten.
Oh my God.
There's parts where she uses like telepathic powers to like cause like the earth to just move, like she's in Last Airbender or something.
What part of that is Resident Evil? I don't get it.
No part of it. That's the amazing part. Now, like Jill Valentine's in it, and so is Claire, and so is Chris. Like
Is Wesker?
Wesker's in it, man.
Shut up.
Yes, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous, man.
Who plays Wesker? I need to see.
A nobody.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to, I would put Wesker, Resident Evil.
At that
Afterlife.
point in that terrible series, it's not like you can get some big names to sign on. You know what I mean?
Oh my.
There's almost no one famous in these movies.
It looks like Val Kilmer almost.
Yeah, he looks like a C-rate actor. You know what I mean? He looks like someone that you found in the classified ads or something.
I can't believe Wesker's in here.
But it has to be Alice because Lara Croft. I mean, you know, she couldn't even handle the
I'm
dinosaurs.
pretty sure she fought like a rock monster in one of the movies, but
She fights some velociraptors in one of them.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and Tomb Raider 2, I think. There's
I
there's
thought
dinosaurs.
you were talking about Alice again. I was like,
no.
no, she hasn't fought dinosaurs yet.
Well, I haven't finished the
That'll be the
series
next
yet. I
one.
got 2 more to go, so we'll see what happens.
How many of those movies are there?
There's 6.
What?
But you know what? You got to give him credit. The one that's called the final chapter is the last one.
Well, that's kind of nice.
That doesn't happen all the time.
No,
And then
usually doesn't.
And then on top of that, they're rebooting the Resident Evil
heard.
movies.
but I heard they're trying to do straight up the
Yeah.
video game now.
They say
That's
anyway.
what they say.
But then they're
we'll
also combining the first 2 video games into one movie. So it's like, already you're not doing it. But Luther from Umbrella Academy is going to be the new Wesker.
I did just see this. Yeah.
How crazy. Anyway, I don't know. If y'all are comfortable with it, Alice just makes more sense.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Which is going to bring us to a tiebreaker. How fantastic.
Give us another.
Oops.
Old Dick on Tarley.
Yep. What an unfortunate name.
I wrote this one and I was feeling some type of way, obviously, when I wrote it. I'm pretty sure I wrote this for our Texas thing. Who is more likely to stick with the team despite not winning a Super Bowl in 24 years?
Dang.
Wow.
Wait, so it's
Okay.
Alice and who? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Alice and Laura
Alice and
Croft.
Lara Croft. I just got to say, Alice stuck around for 6 of those movies. That is not a winning team.
Yeah, she's got perseverance. They've changed Lara Croft.
You know what else I learned? I learned that Mila Jovovich, who's the star of The Fifth Element, got married to Luc Besson, like the director of that movie.
Oh.
They did a few movies together. And then she got divorced from him. And then she married Paul W.S. Anderson. And then they did, all the Resident Evil movies.
Almost 10 movies together.
And Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. Which I heard was
So all I'm saying is
garbage.
All I'm saying is she'll stick with the losing team.
That's close to 24 films.
I love that argument so much. I have to agree with you.
That's airtight. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. All right,
What a
Mila
train
Jovovich
wreck.
or Alice? Alice.
Okay, Alice versus our reigning champ, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a...
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He won the Boot Scoop Boogie, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I checked it right
Scoop.
now.
Oh, nice.
Boogie.
So unless we made another mistake of
No,
not
I think our last
understanding
mistake was the
orientation.
previous episode.
think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we frequently mess these up.
Danny, why don't you give us the champion round here?
give us a champion round for all the marbles?
Give me that predic.
Who's more likely to
Oh, Stassi.
investigate aliens?
Oh,
The suspense.
it's stuck together. This kind of looks like my handwriting. I think it is.
Your hang right?
My handwriting. Who's most likely to coach a high school football team and end up losing the season?
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, this seems like a Tommy Lee Jones movie.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones is from Texas, so he knows about football.
He definitely
So he
does.
wouldn't be
Mila
losing.
Jovovich probably wouldn't make a very good football coach. I'm just going to... Well, Alice.
And not even just
Yeah.
Mila Jovovich, but this crazy Resident Evil character.
I don't know if she knows what football is.
Well, she had amnesia, so it's possible she doesn't remember. But no, that's not how amnesia works. She might still know how the game goes.
Well, it depends on which amnesia you're talking about. Because if it's like I Love Lucy rules, you just got to bump
Yeah.
your head again and everything's fine.
It's hard to discuss a character when you're talking about Alice because she has no character. That's the tricky
She's
part.
a robot.
She could love football. She could be a diehard football fan. We would not know because nothing is revealed of her interests outside of killing zombies.
Kill things here and there.
And, argument against Tom Lee Jones, I saw him in a polo tournament once, and he did not lose. He's a winner.
I feel like I'm kind of feeling Alice a little bit more because I'm just thinking about who's going to lose at the end of the day, and I don't see Tommy Lee Jones losing.
No.
He's going to take those kids.
Unless it's like a Remember the Titans kind of movie.
Do they lose in Remember the Titans?
No, they
Friday
win in
Night
the
Lights.
Friday
Yeah.
Night Lights, yeah.
Friday Night
Yeah,
Lights.
but imagine if Billy Bob Thornton was Tommy Lee Jones instead. They probably would have
They
won
would
that
have pulled
game.
that through. Yep. You got to have that panache.
He would have been like, "No, Booby Miles, you aren't going back out on that field. You're not ready. You're going to listen to your coach."
An effective football coach needs is that gut hanging over his belt.
That's right.
If you ain't got that gut hanging over the belt, how are you supposed to lead a team to
That's that
victory?
Heisman Trophy winning gut. You know
It's
what I
actually on the Heisman Trophy. If you look at the player,
You can't tell because of the angle,
Yeah,
but if
'cause
you
the
look
angle.
real close,
and it's powered by Bush on the bottom, Bush lights.
got a little bit of like chewing tobacco in his sock.
wow. So is this?
I tell you what.
I think we're going with Alice. I think
going with
Alice is
Alice.
going to be the new
Oh,
winner.
no.
Wow.
Who would have thunk?
Okay, well,
She's going to stick around for a while.
I need to knock out these next two Resident Evil movies so I just have a full understanding.
You'll be our resident Alice
expert.
expert.
Our
Yeah.
resident
We got to be
Resident Evil
real
expert.
careful because I'm pretty sure this could be like a Batman situation again. She kind of can do anything.
Nothing will be a Batman situation.
Except have a conversation.
Oh, yeah. Who's more likely to have character development?
Not Alice.
Who's more likely to show their boobies in their husband's movie?
Definitely Alice.
Well, everyone, I think that's going to wrap it up for us here.
Wrap it up.
Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. Please leave us an Apple Podcast review if you can. They're super helpful. Check us out on Facebook at Uninformed Movie Reviews. Check us out on Instagram, Uninformed Movie Reviews, where David puts some spicy content out for you. And we'll see you next time for Character Limit Exceeded and Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Hey.
Boom.